Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another daily cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get right into the information today. So I know a lot of people have been talking about this website, so I definitely recommend you all go check this out right now. It is called coinfairvalue.com, and basically it's a different type of pricing metric, and there's all types of present pricing, future value, PE ratios, and basically they're actually, as you can see, Bitcoin's valued at 5,900, just under 6,000, and that's relatively close to the current pricing. I know Bitcoin's jumping up back to 7K at this time, and it's pretty interesting to see that. Now, with XRP, this is very, very different than a lot of the other assets, whether it's XLM, whether it's even Cardano. A lot of these assets are priced relatively closely, maybe a 1 or 2x difference. But with XRP, currently at 22 cents today, the coinfairvalue.com website actually values XRP all the way up to 94 cents today. For those of you that do not know, 22 cents to 94 cents, that is, over a 4x return if it was ever to replicate this. We're sitting at 23% of the fair coin value at time of making this video. Now, if you guys want to learn more about this and how they actually calculate this, definitely recommend it. There are market updates and website updates based on the fundamentals and liquidity every 10 minutes and every hour based off of different metrics. Highly recommend checking this out, and I would expect, even with the CoinMarketCap liquidity ratings that will come in the coming months for the cryptocurrencies, not just the exchanges, we will see new valuation models occurring everywhere. And I know Cryptopolis has talked a lot about this on Brad Keim's stream as well, and a really, really smart individual around, has 40 plus years of market experience as well. And it would not surprise me to see some new pricing metrics, and eventually institutions will decide what they are going to do. Of course, it's a good sign that we see XRP on the NASDAQ liquidity index as well. It is simply a matter of time. I am bullish. XRP is here to stay. When people are saying XRP goes to zero, people have been saying XRP will go to zero since it came out in 2012. So please put that in a perspective when you're reading these random comments that don't have any basis or just some type of little fuddy paragraph. You have to double check it. Again, always do your own research. And at the same time, you do just have to make a decision for yourself and pull the trigger whether or not you are going to invest. If you are completely uncomfortable with it, that is completely fine. I just see it as another hedge. Is it that bad of an idea to throw $100 into XRP, hold on to it, see what happens for 3 to 5 years? I don't know. That's for you to decide. You could rather, buy some clothes and pizza. But again, I like to invest a portion each and every year. Some people say, save and invest, try to, invest 10%. I'm much, much more aggressive, to say the least. All right. And then again, I do use Coin Paprika. I know some people like Live Coin Watch, but what I do typically, and here's some that I just watch, I do own some of these assets. And again, I keep an eye on the movements. I might not own all of them, but I do watch. And I look at the 7-day. I see how low the percentage is. XRP down 15% on the 7-day, whereas some of the others are lower, but they're up on the 24 hours. So sometimes I do some coin hopping, but at the same time, I've been talking a lot with Mr. Level Up recently, and I've kind of had different holdings now that I'm buying. And if they decide to go up, sooner than XRP, I will dump those profits into XRP to hold for the long term. And again, some will actually have higher percentage returns. So in that case, if they do over the short term or long term, I will also dump those profits into XRP, because I see XRP is one of the, obvious survivors solving immediate problems in the cryptocurrency space. And as time moves on, I'm going to refer to all cryptocurrencies that are actually solving utility problems, utility purposes, and actually driving utility. I will refer to them as digital assets, because that is what they are. Early days like Bitcoin, yes, cryptocurrency. But let's be real, none of these are going to be replacing fiat, simply, hopefully, trying to bridge and help some of these pain points in the financial industry, whether it's VeChain with logistics, whether it's IOTA with the Internet of Things, whether it's Chainlink with oracles, whether it's Cardano with even tracking and doing STOs, and just potentially, when staking actually really hits effect, becoming one of the most decentralized cryptocurrencies with all these staking pools, whether it's Binance Coin being an exchange token, XRP being obviously that bridge asset. So just keep that in mind. Ethereum smart contracts, Bitcoin, you can just say it's the original store of value. But again, all of these can do that as well and scale a lot better. All right, right here, David Schwartz, back in 2015, guys. This is notable. I want to go over this right here. So again, XRP underscore Stewart. And this is if you have a large number of currencies on the Ripple network and a large number of institutions issuing them, it would be very difficult to find a direct path between two currencies because liquidity is needed, especially for hard to reach corridors. So now if XRP becomes that premier intermediary currency, banks in these groups are even more incentivized to stockpile these assets. And remember, David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, has said time and time again, the moon scenario for XRP to be 3-4 digits. And yes, David Schwartz has said potentially 3 digits in the past as well, guys. That is documented. He said that banks and corporations would need to stockpile XRP, and they would be incentivized when it becomes, or if it becomes, the premier asset. Now again, if it even gets a fraction of the SWIFT network, this is a massive win for all of us, so do not underestimate that. So right here, David, well, obviously it's hard to predict the future, and there's certainly no such thing as a sure thing. Risk and reward always comes in pairs. So, the thinking is that if you have a large number of currencies on the Ripple network and a large number of institutions issuing them, it would be very difficult to find a direct path between those two currencies. So if you have a US dollars issued by a local chain, you want to pay somebody in Guatemala who gets cash at his grocery store. The probability that there'll be someone offering to someone offering to trade one of those currencies directly for the other is pretty low, and the liquidity will probably be through some intermediary currency. Yes. Now, the Ripple network has a native intermediary currency called XRP, and this is back in the day when they called it Ripples. So XRP, or sometimes called Ripples on the Ripple network, on the XRP ledger. So the advantage of Ripples is that there is no counterparty. It works just like Bitcoin. Your Ripple balance is just a number on your Ripple account on the Ripple network. The theory is that because XRP does not require any trust or anything in common, it can flow between any two accounts. You don't have to agree to have somebody hold it for you, so there's no custodying the asset. And so, if that becomes the premier intermediary currency, then two types of people will want to hold XRP. One will be people who don't know what currency they'll need next, so they want to hold something that can exchange between the assets easily. And if the path from dollars to euros tends to go through XRP, then if you don't know whether you'll need dollars or euros at that time, it makes the most sense to hold XRP, because then you only have to pay half the spread. Exactly. There's no multiple exchanges. You are holding the single agnostic bridge asset, and that will allow these huge Nostro and Vostro accounts, these pre-funded accounts being held by all these banks globally, to actually reduce that amount being held. And it'll save them so much money, allow them to create additional streams of revenue as well, and there's not as many capital costs associated with that. And then on the other thing is market makers. If you're trying to make a market and people who are selling their dollars want XRP because that's what they need to buy euros, then if you want to be able to buy dollars, XRP is the currency that you're going to need to hold to buy them. If that's the way it plays out, then the demand for XRP will go up, and therefore the price will go up. All right, guys, just wanted to do a short and sweet video. I'm going to go over an article in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or comments down below. Thanks.